I don't use dialogue, but I use but this mobile service provider is also on Twitter and Facebook, right? I'm interested in knowing, like, how do you handle negative response? I mean, do you actually do something about it, or how do you do it?
Okay, if you talk about it, what you're seeing is the front end. When you look at our Facebook or our Twitter posts, what you're seeing is our front end. What happens is, at the back end, there is a dissemination structure for that information, which is managed by a team, which handles it so that we categorize it. Okay, this is a customer service related query. This is a technical query. So these guys filter that information, and it's actually sent out. And what we do is we have actually a discussion wall, if I'm not mistaken, which allows us to direct you to that wall. And it's more a discussion forum where you don't have to just put random posts on our wall. We start the discussion there, find out where you need to go, what you need to do, what is your particular issue, and direct it. Honestly, sometimes there might not be answers. Say, if you ask me, can I stop the rain from stopping my dialogue TV? I can't, right? I mean, dialogue TV can't do that because it's inherent with the technology that we have. Rain fade is inherent with KU45 bandwidth and all that sort of thing. But if there is a point of resolution that can be reached, then it is escalated to them, and either a direct contact will happen with you from the customer service or the technical crew that is handling that particular complaint, or we will come back to you then and there on the site itself, and we will tell you exactly what it is that we feel or what it is that can be done about your issue. So that, yes, it's not just a nice to have thing, there's actually a system or a kind of dissemination of information system behind it, which allows us to respond and react to queries or complaints.
Okay, just a little more further into that. Now, okay, there's a complaint, and then you guys take it down, and then you put it back to your people to sort it out probably, and then you come back and tell this person, okay, this is sorted. How often, maybe as a percentage or whatever, how often does that happen out of all the complaints or queries or whatever?
Okay, once again I said it's people that make things happen, so there can be occasions in which some query is missed out. Say somebody posts at like 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes we might miss it somewhere down the line, but we try as much as possible to use that media to get it out to you. So I would say the success rate as far as relevant and applicable complaints is concerned is phenomenally good. It's phenomenally good. I can't give you a percentile point on that because it hasn't been like, it's still in the fledgling stages. It's a very nascent thing as far as the organization is concerned also, but it has been surprisingly good, and I think there are people who have reached resolutions through that forum. So the other problem is that the people that come onto the media, I mean, with the penetration levels of internet, we will have a very, very close group that will come onto this media. And once that comes in, it will be the same people who will come and who will be talking to us and who will be engaging with us. So it's kind of a devil and deep blue sea situation where there is an opportunity once the expansion, more people to come in and use the media. But to answer your question, there is quite a high rate of response to the queries that we can deal with. And I would say it's pretty much up there in the, okay, if I give you an A percentile, if you want a percentile, it's about 80%. Right. Don't hold me to that and don't quote me on that though. If you're going to be posting anonymously and you're not going to say @tag us or hashtag us or tell us that, let us know that it is dialogue that you're talking about, then I'm afraid we don't have an active monitoring system per se that goes out there and looks and filters all that. But if you're really serious about your complaint, what we encourage is talk to us, put the @tag on, let us know, and then we can respond to you. Because it's the same thing as, refuted and unrefuted information. You're just making a statement about something out of anger or angst, which when we talk to you, like the why question we ask on Facebook, some of them don't have an answer, right? So if that's the case, then we can't respond to that because there is no foundation or there's no issue to be resolved other than maybe anger management. So, so that's pretty much how we deal with situations like that. So answer is no, we don't actively monitor for that particular keyword on Twitter, but if it's tagged and it comes to us, yes, we respond.
How many people are you engaging? How many issues are you resolving on social media compared to what you're doing face-to-face in at customer centers and things. How do you see that growing or declining relatively? And I mean, what do you think the limits to that will be?
Limits to that will pretty much be defined, I think, by the penetration levels that we achieve. Because if we can go into more digital inclusion, as it were, if digital inclusion increases in this country, then the media will become obviously stronger and more vibrant. Right now, the numbers are no comparison. I mean, if you look at call center, although most of you would have gripes with call center and all that, we handle nearly, if you look at it, each call center agent handles at least 850 to 1,100 calls a day, right? So you can imagine the pressure levels that that call center agent is under when contact center agent is under when they're handling those calls. And yet you very rarely find them losing their cool, as it were. I mean, yes, when a crank call comes, sometimes some people might react, but even then there are strict guidelines there. So the volumes are not comparable at all. You can't. So like I said, it's a very nascent field as far as an engagement media is concerned. But it's definitely, the trends are definitely upwards. So it's not something you can ignore any longer. And if you can provide a resolution, this is where it's variable more on a PR aspect, on a managing expectations and managing an image kind of thing, because the response time is much quicker on that. Therefore, the satisfaction level is quicker. And therefore, the word of mouth becomes the word of mouth, as we said, but it gets around faster. And if you find a better resolution via our social media, you're going to obviously tell a friend, Machan, don't go there, come here, you'll find a better resolution here. Right? So that's how it works. So it's, if you look at it volumetrically, it's not comparable, but it's an upward trend. Okay, if I was to share, it takes about, to operate a call center of the magnitude that we operate, it takes roughly about 12 to 15 million rupees a day, cost-wise, to run a call center. Facebook, it takes 3 people to run it. Right? And I think all 3 are in this room at this moment in time.
What's your view on Google Plus?
Google Plus?
Yeah.
I would be lying to you if I said I had an opinion or a view on Google Plus as something, because I haven't really experienced it as yet. So I won't be able to take it on and tell you exactly what it is, because my specialty is more on using the media on different aspects of it. So I won't be able to share that. I'm sorry.
Just to follow up on that,
Yeah.
Google Plus has yet to open up on the business end.
Yeah.
And that's just taking one example. So
Yeah.
you have Facebook and Twitter as your main social media tools.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, what's your view on upcoming new social media platforms?
Upcoming new social media platforms, as long as they generate the volumes that we wish to approach, if people are on them, we will go there. If the volumes are there, if there are people to interact with, we will go there, because that is what we will do as an organization. It's just common sense. If people are not flocking to it, if people have their doubts about it, there's no point in us going there. If there's credibility built around a particular entity, we will move into that space and we will work within that space. So that's pretty much how we would deal with new up and coming emerging social networking sites.
My question to you is, when there is an issue that you have with a certain individual on a certain social media platform, where that person has an issue with you, and then you kind of have that gang mentality where people start ganging up against you, how does dialogue deal with it, and how would you recommend, like with all your experience, how would you recommend that companies in general deal with it? Like just clam up and wait for it to blow over? Or
Tough question, but okay. What I would look at, okay, if I was to tell you what I would do about it, what I would recommend, I would honestly say, if it's a gang up mentality, if it's like yes, 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 me too, me too, me too, me too, there's really nothing much you can do about it unless you tackle the initial core issue. You talk to the person who generated the original complaint, and you resolve that issue, and you get a tacit acknowledgement from that person saying issue is now resolved. Therefore, it basically negates all the Me Toos that have come afterwards, the gang up mentality that you have. So once again, if it's a complaint that I can't do anything about, say for instance, I revert again to the rain fade issue that we had, or just a simple comment saying dialogue is crap or whatever, which has no foundation to it, then there's precious little you can do as an organization or as an individual about it. I mean, it's the same thing that if somebody decides to post up on my site and say, on my page and say, you know, Hetty is bleep, then, you know, and there are 30 people who say, yes, we agree, I can ask him, why do you think I am, right? And if he has a reason, then I can probably try to change my ways or try to resolve that issue and then get the admission, okay, Hetty is no longer a bleep, right? Or I can just climb up and wait because I can't resolve that issue. That's just his point of view or opinion, which is founded on something which is he's not willing to reveal to me. So if I can't engage you as a customer and find out what the issue is, I can't resolve it, right? So that's why I said, my answer is, if I can, I will resolve it at the point of origin, and that will negate all the Me Toos that we have got. If not, then I have no choice but to let it ride and ignore it because I can't resolve it if there is no issue that is brought up to my notice.
So just a quick follow-up to that. Do you have like a benchmark on negative comments that you do approach, or do you just try to approach everything on a, like, if anything that's negative that's said about you, you try and address it, or is there a benchmark? Because I know, like, in the past few days, I've been making certain comments about your FUP, and no one's said, you know, to have a, you know.
I missed the last bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've been making a few comments about it, and no one's actively engaged me saying, why are you complaining about our FUP? So, is there a reason why you guys are letting those comments slide, or is it just that no one saw them, or
well,
that you know I actually love you and I'm never leaving dialogue? Like
I know. We've had this conversation before as well. But I think, okay, there could be several reasons for that, right? If I were to tell you that we have ignored them, then I don't think there's a foundation for that. I think the whole issue with the FUP thing is when we find out is that you have the option of getting your pipe or getting your share of the pipe if you pay the higher level and you go into it. Because the problem of why we have imposed the FUP is you're looking at international bandwidth coming into the country. So the international bandwidth that you have available as far as an organization is concerned, it's expensive. So we have to generate the numbers that will make sure that we use the pipe, but we also have to make sure that people get an equal share. So that's pretty much what we do. So if we have like 20 people drinking from the same water pipe, everybody might get enough water. But if we have 150 people coming in at the same time and one person decides he wants much more of the water, right? The others are going to be at a losing end. So the options for us as an organization are probably increasing international bandwidth at exorbitant costs, which we might not be able to build into a business case, or look at a situation where we bring in certain checks and balances, which will allow an FUP is a fair usage policy. So if it's a fair usage, and if you are willing to pay a premium, if I'm not mistaken, I need to check up on this and I'll get back to you, but if you are willing to pay a premium, there is the option of upgrading yourself and going for that extra bandwidth. So again, the answer is there are some questions which we would find it difficult to engage you or talk to you on a public forum or maybe talk to you about, but I agree with you that we should maybe respond to you a bit more openly about those things. Okay, I'll be willing to take any questions afterwards because we are running out of time apparently, and thank you, Nasri, for that. I was absolutely not planned, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.